promise you a life of prizes, plunder, and adventure. Aye. For amongst all the gentlemen of fortune sailing these West Indies, he ranks amongst the most clever. There was a time the deadliest scourge of these seas. But this man is a fearsome dog that feeds off trouble and turmoil. I seen him clear the deck of a Spanish galleon like it were nothing. Fighting like a devil, dressed as a man. And he's a canny one. Knows his way round every crag and crevice of these islands. So if it's fortune and adventure you seek, then Captain Edward Kenway's your man. Only, don't meddle in his private affairs. For there's more mystery to that man than even I dare ask.
Alright, let's see, single player, new game, let's go, as you can see I've played a bit. Alright, start that now.
Vladimir Putin has issued his ultimatum that European nations, unfriendly nations, not just Europe, must start paying for oil from Russia in rubles. Not just that, they have to open Russian bank accounts and handle their exchange through the Russian financial system. But they're making it sound like...
Oi, oi, Moose. How are we doing, bud?
New location are you?
Oh, you know, doing. Can't run.
Kenway! Take the bloody wheel!
I'm trying.
Over now, for damage taker!
It was just a joke. Yeah, dude, so like you're telling me they've lost not only the military, but they've and they have to
Fire!
The 1980s calls. That's horrible. Alright, everybody.
Fire!
Talk about them and a bunch of other stuff like that. Smashing water, yelling at homeless people.
We're ready, sir!
Yell back. We'll
Fire!
William.
Uncork the cannon!
How you doing? I'm good. Who are you? Who am I? I'm the host of the Brian Nichols Show. I'm a sales executive, and my role in this training has been to take the ideas that he likes to talk about and bring in a little bit of the sales and marketing world. Here we are. I yell on the sides, you don't understand that.
Awaiting
No,
orders!
come on.
What do you think?
The magazine! It's going out! Douse the flames! Get in there, you mongrel!
I was also yelling at clouds earlier, but with my mind, there was a big thunderstorm coming out. I was thinking I
did that, yeah.
Thinking at class.
I was thinking hard. I was thinking very, very articulately.
Yeah, I want to point out real quick too for many of you who
Is it
don't know,
dangerous?
actually, I'm the voice of Dr. Anthony
Edward.
Fauci. And I've been
Privateering.
auditioning
Is it
for Nancy
dangerous?
Pelosi, so I'm really hoping.
Oh, it is.
We're
So
hoping
nice
he
if
gets
it
it.
weren't.
It's a good impression. I mean, if you want to get.
Why not sail with the King's Navy, earn a proper wage, sail under gentlemen?
Sod the Navy's gentlemen. For every shilling I'd earn, the captain gets 600. That's no way to earn a fortune.
You don't need a fortune.
Everyone's going to love my Pelosi. And so you should.
Will they love it as much as your Fauci?
It's not about need, Caroline.
Pelosi's good, yeah.
The Fauci's really
I want food that don't make me sick.
It's too real, honestly.
I want walls that hold back the wind. I want a decent life.
How long would you be gone with these privateers?
A year, I reckon. Two at most.
All right. No more than 2. Promise me.
So if your knees are starting to go out, you want to fight I'm just trying to point out I skate a whole lot to take my knees, right? That's it. I know some people who suffer their ACLs. If you want to be able to exercise,
So how's work, bud?
unlike other supplements, you'll get free shipping with every order and free VIP live health and fitness coaching from BioTrust team, which is fitness coaching and health coaches for every order. And the free e-report for 14 foods for amazing.
Was it good for you as well?
Havana. I must get to Havana.
Well, I'll just build us another ship, will I?
I can pay you. Isn't that the sound you pirates like best? 100 skins.
So go to StrongerBonesInLife.com and shout out my thanks very much. Don't forget, head over to TimCast.com and remember to support our
Keep talking.
Oh, don't you?
You don't have that gold on you now, do you?
Not too bad, you know, for being work and all. Emoji face with tears of joy.
I'm on to you, Snakesby!
Alright, so finally a sausage.
Come on, mate! We're off to a bad start!
Vladimir Putin has signed a decree stating buyers must open ruble accounts in Russian banks. That is very different. Nobody sells a house free, and we're not going to be doing it anymore. Putin's signed a decree to boost the ruble, which has been hit by Western sanctions. While it's working, the ruble is recovering. But this is more about Russia's banks. They say his decree means foreign buyers of Russian gas would have to open an account with Russia's Gazprom bank and transfer euros or US dollars to Gazprom bank, with that converted into rubles, which will then be used to make the payment for gas. You have to buy oil and gas. He's saying
It's 100 leagues or more to Havana. Will you walk that distance?
he's now got the meter payment system. Visa, MasterCard, and Amex and all these companies are spending. He didn't care. All Joe Biden has done with his sanctions is bolster Russia and make them fiercely and strong and weaken the U.S. position on the beach. So,
I'm over there, right here.
You know, but this is what they say about news talkers.
Oh, come on. Ooh.
It's got that silver tongue, but the follow through isn't there.
It's also that he's tried to walk back with anything that never happened, man. Never happened. Well, that happened. Well, with the sanctions, I think he was asked by Doozy, like the only thing that happened. He was asked, these sanctions, because it's for Putin or not. And then it was one of the spokespeople. I think by himself, yeah. I didn't say that man alone. He was asked specifically, you said sanctions were going to Putin. Well, go ahead.
Let's see. I know that it's him.
Posh git. Where's he running to?
Follow and I'll kill you!
And they're slipping around there at the other.
You did something a long time ago. Video forever. Essentially, I mean not forever. He understands that to become an old generation before the internet.
Right. Remember when Hillary Clinton? Hot sauce.
Oh, the hot sauce was too.
Range.
Breakfast food?
Yeah.
Leopard around here somewhere.
Dope Hillary. But she put in a fake southern accent because she didn't realize that people were cool and everything was very secret, right?
It's a boar. I don't care about the boar. Yeah.
Remember she put on like an urban Latino accent or dialect or whatever?
We could work together on this!
Like, we hear you on PBS, we hear you on CNN, you don't talk that way. You know what? You guys look like that, right? Well, yeah, well, she's trying to reflect the people's. But at the same point in time, there comes a fine line between being your authentic self and being condescending. And I mean, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, AOC, Nancy Pelosi, the one thing that they all please don't.
Keep your distance!
Yo, senor, yo necesito more love. Yeah, but that's broken Spanish. They were literally used like, I want food for the plate. Like, no, we can talk normally. Like, oh, well, remember that Yale study. That's white people are all these animals. They're dumb,
Come on.
it's like, I don't want one of my speech saying
That was not what it was.
That's probably definitely
Yeah, you're dead.
We're doing a live talk show right now, just so you know.
Senor Duncan Walpole, I accept your most generous offer and await your arrival with eagerness. If you truly possess the information we desire, we have the means to reward you handsomely. Though I will not know your face by sight, I believe I can recognize the costume made infamous by your secret order. Therefore, come to Havana in haste, and trust that you shall be welcomed as a brother.
Trust the CDC today.
Su más humilde servidor, el gobernador laureano Torres Villayama.
Dude, and then if you answer no to take the survey, you answer they're not
This collector.
You gotta quarantine this one. Like, round them up. They come out in like the hazmat suits like they do in China. You jump out the window, they grab you, bring you back in. They called me 61 today, 3:20 today. They called me yesterday. They were trying to reach you about your vaccine.
Look at all that I missed.
That's really weird. I don't think they called me at all. Did you guys get that here, by the way? Like people go around door to door asking if you got your vax? No. That was a thing in Philly, and it was weird.
We'll come
This
back.
guy, like, comes up to my house, and my wife and I just moved out of Philadelphia, and he knocks on the door. He's like, COVID, see if,
That schooner will do me just fine.
So that's what they're calling me. So I got a text message from them. And I heard a voicemail. And,
Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, I know about stuff.
What up, CDC? Anyway, we were talking about, what's going on in Europe and in the CDC.
Nope, won't let me.
I get
Treasure chest there. Probably have to get that bottle right there.
New variant drop? What if it was Omicron B6?
What if it was like, I heard you were doing my voice in these cartoons. I am sending you a cease and desist.
Oh, wow.
I should be the one making those royalties off of my own likeness.
But, I didn't actually think I asked them if they were okay with it.
Let's get that. Come on. What's the thing?
Anything you like.
I think the ruble, part of the reason why the ruble, bounced back, not only did they sell gold, but its value is calculated in relative to
shut up.
So if the dollar drops in value, the ruble is going to go up relatively in value. So as the dollar continues to plummet, as it continues to plummet, all of these other things.
There's just over there.
Everybody's looking at the ruble.
Yeah. Oh, somebody.
Well, when MasterCard uses those companies,
Down.
they put them in the corner. How did he take that deal? I don't think he's doing anything out of the way. I'm not saying I love it. I just think when you look at what the Biden administration has done in the like it has been one everything you like. And I think it's just a matter of I think Putin looks at it as he has to maintain himself long enough to outlast it. And he's just we're seeing right now, your average person is like, oh God. I mean maybe, but I also think as soon as Joe Biden got elected, you know how the way we show the wrestling, that camera.
Take my sugar. Take anything you like.
Imagine that Putin, and then this guy's like, look, Joe Biden is president for the past 4 years. And then he's like, let's move. And then he starts like nailing out all their plans.
I'll pay you.
On the clock, people, we got 4 years to get this done.
That didn't work.
Small window, so we can do whatever we want. Once every 100 years.
I think Biden's going to run again.
I actually think going to like Joe Biden not holding his hand.
How about stem cells or something? Maybe CRP.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. If Joe Biden were to run for president...
Take my sugar! Take anything you like!
That did not work.
The first time around, Joe Biden was calling a lid.
Oh well, I'm not getting 100% on this one.
Sleeping in his basement or something.
Come back and do it later.
To get away with it.
I'll pay you! Anything you like!
That was the reason.
He's going alive.
But I think you guys are ending up on the upgrade on his feeling here.
It can be for a second. Here's the map.
Is it so you don't want to be because
that one should be in Havana. Oh, it's the one we're on. How about that? That's that one I was talking about here.
No,
either be like, think about graphene, think about graphene,
I might have to change my Twitter profile. I've got Biden smelling me from behind on my Twitter profile. He's like, it's corn puff. But then Ian would be like,
Ian with his long leg hair.
yeah, he's rubbing your leg. Ian is
$1 million.
Okay, but in all seriousness, in 2020, there were a lot of excuses about why Biden should have won, why he could win. I didn't buy him. But a lot of people just really hate Trump. And a lot of people really hate Joe Biden because the Twitter rating is low for the MSNBC is like, But imagine Joe Biden running again.
Ooh, yeah.
That's why I'm like, they hated. People dislike the hate Biden because of what he's doing to them for what. And that right there is the difference. Whereas if you had Ron DeSantis running, you get rid of everything about Trump hate, and now instead you can focus on the policy that people love in Florida, and people fled to in mass in Florida because they were trying to get away, like I did in Philadelphia, of the craziness of Trump. No, I'm not going to read it. Oh, okay, so you know what? I think about it though.
There you are.
Because we're at the point now where we're sure enough people.
Let's see. How do I get up there? Oh, shut up. There's no one alive.
Whether like the whole don't say gay bill, the don't say gay, right? He was smart in the way he put that bill into place because he is making the left now respond and say, you want to this is cool. The average parent is like, you're teaching what to my kids? No, I don't think so. Whereas Trump would just go out and go, what's the headline for the day? What can I go after and smash with a hammer? And now we have a chance to put Ron DeSantis in front, where he could have a chance to use some policy and get the progressive left that answers that. I'd rather have DeSantis.
Same thing. Let's get this done. Come back and do all that later.
Take my sugar! Take anything you like!
Wow, so Ron DeSantis is like, yeah, we're going to do a special session, come in, vote on everyone being able to carry guns.
I'll pay you!
But I like this a lot, so bring that to the federal government.
By God's grace, you saved me. A profusion of thanks. Is that yours? It is my vessel, yes. Here lies its poor captain, and I have no art for sailing.
I can pilot her myself, no mind.
You don't mean to abscond with my ship, do you?
I'm Duncan. What's your name, friend?
Steve Bonnet.
Well, Mr. Bonnet, let the stage trust us. But I'm on a secret errand for His Majesty the King, God's sake, and I must get to Havana with speed.
Oh, that is a relief, sir. Havana is also my destination. Our ways lie together.
Natural allies, then.
You put me at ease, sir. To think I took you for a pirate when you first appeared.
Did you?
Yes. You have an uncommon way of handling yourself. Quick and easy, if I may say. Gave me quite a fright.
He had 4 heads, he was going to kill Grandma.
All things considered, it's turned out to be a rather fortuitous day, hasn't it?
He even had AOC party in Nashville. Great. Everybody can see that the progressives and Democrats are being
Let's get this done.
Lacking a rowboat, I'm afraid we'll have to swim to my ship.
Hardly the worst thing to happen.
Doesn't work.
This is difficult. I should have taken the coat off.
All they did was make themselves look really bad. It was like the Oscars. What they
Time to drive. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Welcome aboard, Duncan. She's a modest schooner, but well suited to my purpose, trafficking cargo from my plantation and such.
She'll do fine. There's a strong wind now. Let's strike to full, shall we?
As much sail as you can! Ah, there's a tug of the wind at my hair. I find a bracing comfort in the feel and smell of the ocean. The raw stink of possibility.
That's a top way of seeing it, mate.
Oh, I'm not gonna make the turn.
We've really opened it up now, haven't we?
Is this going to make it more difficult to have conversations with children?
Those sailors were quite animated by the idea of pirates roaming these waters.
We need to make sure
Is it a real danger, do you suppose?
A possibility. But most pirates stalk the Windward Passage between Cuba and Hispaniola.
Anything, yes, exactly.
Oh, I see. Yes. That is a bustling strait. More sail! But I shouldn't worry about being waylaid by pirates, truth be told. My ship is small, and I have nothing of immense value. Sugarcane and its yields, molasses, rum, that sort of thing.
There's not a pirate living who'd turn his back on a keg of rum.
Well, yes. Yes, I suppose that's true.
Open water.
What he's doing with Florida
Yeah, his black eyes right there.
You're a natural sailor, Duncan.
I did a decent trick at the helm some time ago. 2 years before the mast as a privateer.
Dash my buttons. Your life seems a grand one, if I may say. So full of adventure. How marvelous.
I've seen my share of strangeness, aye.
Fantastic work. Very promising.
Been able to dodge having to jab ourselves when now we're acknowledging that you don't really need it.
Yep. So and he did, and I mean, no, but like this goes back to
Right. Easy now.
Instead of responding,
There you go.
setting
Welcome back.
Like, and that's where DeSantis is killing it. He is not responding to left makes
Well, your numbers look good.
and they're full throws.
Now let's make sure we can break your brain, all right?
Anybody right of center is now playing defense. Instead,
I need you to move your head and look at these lights just here. Look up.
And now you're seeing the left scramble because
That's
they're
it.
not used to having to
Down.
actually explain, wait, why do you
So
wanna
far, so
teach
good.
kids sex
Let's get you
when
up.
they're in kindergarten? Like, that wasn't
And
the
have
secret
secrets.
conversation.
And have secret
So,
Right.
welcome to the Sample 17
you're
project.
having a
Before you get started, you're gonna need this.
The left is explaining, and now that
Oh.
they're in this trap, having
Testing,
to
testing,
unwind
1, 2, 3.
this
Hello,
massive
bonjour.
web that they have made of just insanity. Your average person, and I keep on going back to the average person, because this needs to
All right, let's take a walk. Your file says you've done some memory research before, but not to this extent, which is surprising. You're very good. The data streams are very stable.
So all the more reason why we all like it.
Impressive, right? This building is barely 6 months old, but Abstergo Entertainment has been a studio for a few years, since 2010.
They're gonna have to start setting up their primary campuses. So 2023 is primary.
Maybe you saw Liberation? That was our first title powered by Animus Tech. That was just the tip of the iceberg. Soon, we'll be unveiling commercial Animus servers for the whole world to enjoy. They'll offer passive experiences, of course, edited versions of real history, but only the exciting parts. And we think we found the perfect subject for our first full-length virtual feature, Caribbean Pirates. So that's your gig. It'll just take a minute, okay?
It's not Biden.
Well, thank you, Nancy.
Oh wow.
Bonne journée.
If you haven't played any of the previous Assassin's Creed, that's
Magnifique. Merci.
one of the assassins.
This is for you.
Hey.
The primary tool of our trade, your communicator. Power it up and give it a look. It's pretty slick.
He says these ridiculous things. I mean, he thought Russia because he's
And that's Sean right there.
You might have noticed that security seems a little light around here. That's because
Don't
your
be looking at the
communicator is your
other
key to getting around.
I don't have the same kind of sympathy for this guy because you know, you get behind the wheel of a car and it's easy to
someone, I have no sympathy.
I hear you, bro. I agree with you on that, but I almost think he's to the point where if someone else had his quarterback, I just don't know that he's confident enough to take the decision. It's like you have somebody in the back seat of the car, they're like, they have Joe Biden in the front seat.
See that flashing wireless signal? It means you're hooked up to the elevator. I'll let you do the honors. We're headed up to the Sample 17 studio, second floor.
But like, no, but yeah, I would agree with you. I think my point is more or less really what I'm trying to get at is if this was anyone else, right?
You ready? Let's go.
It would make me sad. I wouldn't really find it so funny, but because this man is literally the leader of the country.
Ah, there's the boss, Olivier Garneau, our CCO. I'll introduce you. Bonjour.
Salut Mélanie. Ça va bien?
Well, thanks. Have you met our new hire? Just started today.
I haven't. Bonjour. What project?
Sample 17, Kenway line.
Hayden, Connor...
Edward, the pirate.
Yar, matey.
Very exciting. Welcome aboard. Mélanie, can we talk in your office for a minute?
Just let me get this one settled and I'll see you in 5 minutes.
C'est bon. Nice to meet you.
So, this is the Sample 17 floor. We're diving into the memories of one very generous donor, Desmond Miles. We're pulling all the best stuff from his DNA. And hopefully one day, we can forge some fantastic experiences from what we find in there. This pair of legs is John, one of the wizards in IT. He's just fixing something for you.
Not fixing, calibrating.
Calibrating, right. So here we are, your very own Animus workstation.
Yeah, man, you know, hit Libya.
This is all yours, so sit back, relax, and find us some good footage.
All right, I guess
If you need any hints or tips, the Animus is loaded with tutorial programs, so you'll have no problems.
It would be disappointment.
And I'll check in on you later.
Come on, man.
Really?
That's a 20, man. Listen. When Joe Biden was
I want a computer like this. That'd be freaking wicked. And Mr. Canway.
When Peter Ducey was talking, was asking questions about it, he said, it seemed like he said this, and it seemed like he said this.
Welcome to Animus Omega, Abstergo Entertainment's proprietary ancestral memory research tool. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about how to operate your Animus console, please contact your project supervisor, Melanie LeMay. You have been registered as part of the Sample 17 project. Your primary research target is Edward James Kenway, born March 10, 1693, Swansea, Wales. Calibrations complete. All signs normal. All systems optimal. Extra neurotransmitters activated.
Translator. Yo, I know some old. Trump is old.
Havana.
Lively Havana. I've been here once before. It was a truly awful pleasure.
See someone you know?
No, just putting on a friendly face. I shouldn't want to be mistaken for a pirate again.
Right. Flash rogue like yourself must be cautious.
Emoji skull, emoji skull.
And he's like, listen here, chum. You ain't got no soul. No malarkey. He's like, oh, please, Mr. Biden, please.
Mad to think Spain and England were at war 2 years ago, isn't it? Here I am, bartering with Spaniards like they were my cousins. Nothing wrong, Duncan.
No, it's nothing. Sand in my hampers. So where's the best squad in town? I'm dying for a quick kip. Or a siesta, should I say.
I'm just headed to public house now to meet some merchants. Show you the way.
Well, lead on.
And we made him a truck, too.
I hope you'll tarry a bit while I
Boy, Breonna Taylor.
It'd be a great relief to have a man of your stature nearby. Yes, misunderstanding.
I can hang about. I might have a drink.
Splendid. Drink.
Well, they don't take kindly to pirates here, do they? Wonder how many stolen reals bought these men this perch. Hola, ladies.
If I truly didn't know that I said that someone said
They
you
charge
said
money
something,
for
I'm
that
like,
kind
no,
of privilege.
I don't think so. No,
A few
yes, you
dozen
did. I did.
reals
Okay,
for
show me
every
the
hour
footage so I
we
can
go in.
verify that you're right here.
Keen to meet them.
I would eat it.
No,
You have
goodness
to.
no,
What are you
I'm
gonna
a
do?
married man.
Married men are their forte, mate.
It's just that Joe Biden, you show Joe Biden the video, he'd be like, what am I looking at? And he's trying to like, look at it and everything. And he'd be like, Joe,
Here's a
this is
purveyor
you
of personal
saying
defenses.
use chemical
I
weapons.
should acquire a blade for myself, Duncan.
No, I never said that.
This
That's
rusty
not me.
race
You're
is
gonna
nothing to
go,
admire.
Even so, fear a mere kitten walking so close upon you. Perhaps a small dagger would suit me. Let's see what he said.
Maybe I'll buy a sword too. We'll both jump
I'm
rank.
still going to make fun of Joe
Oh,
Biden
we'll be
after
quite the
this
pair,
does.
you and I. Twin
Well, no,
devils.
Maybe it'll be less relevant.
Lend us a few reals then. I did save your skin.
Of course.
Cheers.
They said it over and over again. Oh, how hilarious how stupid that the Republicans had a president who's experiencing cognitive decline.
Igno, it's nothing wild, but try and guess my Halloween costume.
You guys, that was towards the end of his presidency. You guys chose Joe Biden knowing he was demented. He wasn't president. Like, there was an out. And you still picked him.
Yo, man. That's how... Have you guys seen the story that the Army is reducing its enlistment expectations?
That's a better fit for me.
The commercial about having
How do you fare?
Yeah, actually, let me see.
You know, dresses Breonna Taylor.
Oh, Puffer
I forgot where I was going with it, 'cause now I want to talk about the...
I've led us astray, Duncan.
I heard
Well, no
that
matter.
it's because of
I'll
the
get us a better view. What are we looking for?
surrender. It's called a surrender.
A tavern,
Because
a sort of
surrendered all
courtyard
$800 billion
interior.
of equipment to the enemy, and hastily left a bunch of people out. That's the reason people are not signing up for the military now. They don't trust it.
Well, and that's... Did you know if that's when things really changed? Like, the tenor on Biden just, like, 180.
Everything is official. That's how you tell a true sailor.
I thought it was 800. Was it 80?
Let me pull this story. We got the story here from Breitbart. Army reducing its numbers in face of recruiting difficulties. They say the Army this week admitted it was having problems recruiting and announced an unprecedented reduction in number size that would shrink the active duty Army to its smallest size in World War II. Apparently, you've got retired Army Lieutenant General Thomas Spower saying the Army has not faced such recruiting.
I think I see the place.
Years.
We're not far.
Situation where the Army has cut its own strength and
Hang tight.
negative recruiting outlook. Line recruitment has drafted 134,500 people, and the U.S. is drawing down numbers.
Stop or I'll break your knees when I catch you.
Thanks, Joe Biden. Again? Well, and not just Joe Biden. I mean, we can definitely attribute it to him, even though it's way before he was president, because ultimately he got
I'm close at heel, shitbird.
When you go to World War III, it's not only a horrifically and barbarically evil thing to do in and of itself, but of course, you undermine your credibility with the American people.
Here I come!
Where global tensions really are heightened. We don't really have a military that whatever war might break out, and other nations know that. But we got to be very serious.
You robbed the wrong man, mate. A fellow with dangerous friends.
I'm Dean Ezio from Assassin's Creed.
Last year, and now that clearly did not work.
Now that's badass.
When you recruit 3 moms, we need a commercial with 3 moms.
More moms.
Yeah, more moms. Yeah, just a whole bunch of moms.
More is better.
Faster, funnier, louder. They didn't put enough moms. I don't think there was enough moms in that situation.
Wasn't loving enough.
First of all,
Ezio is definitely a good choice.
No, but in all seriousness, the Army legitimately ran a campaign that was all about...
Of course I am. That filth was no fuss.
And they did that very famous Two Moms.
We've arrived.
And it was animated like a Disney film. It was so strange. First of all,
Take your time, I'll be just here.
I mean, if you're trying to recruit people for the military, why are you
Fancy meeting no Welshman deep in Dago country. English myself. Biding my time till the next war calls me to service.
Lucky King George, having a piss pot like you flying his flag.
the Emma and her two moms has backfired on the army.
Seen your face before.
It's an unprecedented moment where
Use mix with them pirates down in Nassau.
Nice.
Shut your fucking mouth, or I'll fill it with shots, you hear me? Edward, is it?
They also removing the vaccine mandate.
Yeah, I warned you. You want a dust up? I'll give you one. Come on, lads. I've seen bigger arms on a bird.
We're basically forced to go to Vietnam. He was going to be a big branch of the general, so he sent it to the world, crowd, things like that, all this. And it's just my dad before that, but he had actual...
Step only 20 actions don't mess back with the door.
One more. Come on! You're not leaving, mate. I'll catch you up. Perro inglés.
It's like here's the point I want to make.
Freedom. Yes, military. If you thought they would break your creativity, and you should have joined.
Oh, I should have joined the creative arm.
They would have said, "Hey, express yourself, Ian."
No. This way. There you go.
You want young men.
That is my point. My point is, you can get... No, I'm not concerned about targeting just
I forget they can tackle on this one.
But the issue here is, the marketing campaign they made, nobody who would... No. So look, this kind of virtue signal is extremely over the top. The target
Let me get out of the area.
Aggressive millennials. But these people are not the people who would ever want to join the army, ever. Yeah. So it's like trying. It would be like going to a fitness class, expert level, Tai Chi or martial arts, and trying to sell deep fried Oreos and double scoop, banana split sundaes. These people are going to be like, or I'll give you a better example. Going to the Olympics during training season and being like, here's a cart full of deep fried ice cream.
Well, they give
I
them
don't know what you're talking about.
There's also the food coloring in it, so they really don't care at that point. Like, what are you doing to your athletes at that
You
point?
can't equate Gatorade.
It's similar to, like, why are you selling food coloring to your athletes?
Okay, it's a little different. Well, I hear you, Gatorade, it's not great.
It's similar to fried food.
Like deep fried Twinkies will probably work.
Yeah. And so the point is that the Army made a commercial that probably insulted their target demographic. Not because that people who join the Army are going to see this and be like, oh, I'm so offended at two moms, but more so they were like, do you think this is like this represents us in any way?
Well, and this goes back to the point we made earlier, right? So when you look at who's the Democratic Party speaking to right now, in their head, but now I would say it was exactly who they looked at it for. Your point, millennial, Gen Z, rich, progressive elitists. And that is who has become, in their mind, the Democratic approach for target market. But that's not really who your average Democratic voter is. I mean, if I'm out in Indiana, right, and I talk to a Democrat, they are much more likely to be a New York Republican than they are a AOC Democrat. But you said something that I think hits this as well. The people who believe these views, the progressive sector of this country, are well off, middle to upper middle class, upper class, suburbanite types. Yep. They're the ones who push this. Do you think that you are going to recruit this, 24-year-old progressive woman? No. They're going to be like, this ad is so dumb because America is totally racist. The people who hate you are not going to come work for you on the contract. Exactly. You need the people who are like, America! Yeah,
you want to target the kids that are bullied and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not advocating. I'm not advocating for.
What are you talking about?
I'm not advocating for propaganda, but if the military wants to recruit people through propaganda, you want to target young men that feel disillusioned and that they've been victimized.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I mean that's what I would do.
So here's why drafting doesn't work. You can't send people who have been drafted to go do very serious things on your behalf because they don't. Finding people who are bullied, yeah, that's a terrible way to go. I mean, what you want is people who are looking for purpose and people who are driven. You want to approach them and say, your mission awaits. There are people who need you.
Or go get the bad guy, kind of.
Well, that's what Putin's doing. That's why they've seen enough of him, because he's got the ability to lead with purpose versus the propaganda. Well, yeah, because Putin's able to tell people, if we don't win this war, McDonald's will not come back. They're like, well, we better go fight. Right, whatever you say, boss. Yeah, like, imagine, I kind of feel like this is what the American marketing department thinks. They're like, millennials like Disney. Let's make an ad to recruit them like a Disney movie. It's like, no, you don't understand. And millennials liking Disney means they're not going to join. Right. It's the craziest thing. There are these videos. I don't know what the right word is for it, but there's if you go to like the Transphobia on Reddit, there are people who make these TikTok videos where they talk in these really weird ways where they like bounce around. They're acting like Disney animation characters. Like when you're watching like a new Pixar movie or whatever, they talk like this and they're like flailing about for some reason. Yeah. And so you'll see that. This is they think, is that what we want in the army? I only gotta say this. No. That's not what I mean. I just mean like there are people who have become sort of media mutated in their minds, their perception of reality. It's not an issue of what Russia is doing. It's an issue of what the U.S. is. The kids who are growing up here have dejected and twisted views of reality, and they become in very strange and broken ways. It's disparate, acultural nonsense. And the reason why I think we're facing this recruiting problem is because no one believes in this country, as evidenced by our politicians, by the corporations, by woke activism in general. When you see someone like David Ogden, this guy is famous for gun control, tweeting about why parents should be allowed to have secret sexual conversations with 5-year-olds. I'm like, I kind of think you don't actually know.
The message used to be freedom, American freedom, and then George Bush invaded the Middle East and kept telling us because they hate our freedom, we got to keep killing people, and it just bastardized and twisted the definition of the word freedom. And now no one understands what freedom is anymore.
Well, it's true, Ian, and it's funny because the left sort of saw that early on, and they would scoff at anyone who used the term freedom in a positive way, like that. And they'd go, oh, you're talking about fighting for our freedom, we're talking about the dumbest thing ever. But now they'll go, we need to protect our democracy. Yeah, your democracy is the exact same thing. Yeah,
it's not a democracy.
Yeah,
it's a republic.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They don't even use democracy in that crazy they use democracy. They use it as almost a replacement for. It just means good. Democracy equals good. Democracy equals good. Yes. I think with respect to recruitment, I mean, I have friends who are combat veterans, and I remember having conversations with them after Afghanistan fell, and I mentioned this before, but to us, to them, they have friends who died there, they've been shot at, they've really gone through some horrific, significant trauma, and then they just saw it all undone on live television. Imagine how horrible it is. Why would someone want to enlist in this military at this point in time, given all that? There used to be a time in this country when the higher-ups in our government who would send young men to fight in wars respected them.
Sounds like
then we got into a period where they more or less were indifferent to them, and now we're at a point in time where we send these young men to fight in wars, respected the fight in wars, actively hate them in everything they stand for, in everything they believe in, and they're not idiots. They know that. Who's going to fight a war for Joe Biden? Who's going to fight a war for Nancy Pelosi?
Not only do the young people not want to fight, my dad literally was involved in the Vietnam conflict and told me to my face, do not join the military.
Yeah, but that's because he drafted or
he was able to avoid the draft because he enlisted ahead of time. They were calling the numbers. He's like, I'm not going to the jungle. No way. I'm joining the Navy.
So he enlisted in that particular time.
Enlisted in the Navy.
Like a specific
just to not get drafted into the jungle. Like his cousin got shot down in a helicopter and died.
Yeah.
It's horrific. So it wasn't only that I saw how dumb it was and chose. It was my father actively told me not to do it. So not only do people not believe in it, their parents are telling them don't do it.
Yeah. So my dad was in high school. Just to add to this, and this is so foreign to us, but he told me that like every single morning, a teacher got drafted, and one of his teachers, she was young and had just started teaching, ended up getting drafted into the war.
You got to study like tunnel rats. They would send these little guys down underground to crawl through these tunnels. Or, like sometimes they would cave in and they'd suffocate. Sometimes there'd be a guy 3 feet in front of them in the dark with a gun pointed at their face. Then they'd have to go set bombs under in these tunnels. All the Vietnamese. This is the war.
We had the World War II back, right? And I remember back when I was in school, like we'd go to the Ambac, see that there's a group of the remaining World War II guys. And that was the people that would actually come to the war. And like you'd see like them talking about defending American freedom, helping defend it over abroad, and like fighting back the Nazis. And that was something you could get on board with. I think like if you're average person, like yeah, like Nazis were bad. Whereas you look to Vietnam, it's like we're gonna go to a jungle for 20 years.
Get shelled for 20 years.
This civil war that's coming up is going to be fascist. The left is going to scream anybody. They're going to tell everyone the fascists must be stopped, and everyone on the right's going to go, Tito's must be stopped. Those are the, have you guys seen Operation So, yeah, because basically the need is anybody supporting the protests. I don't think they take that far. They're doing it. Okay, and it's really triggering a lot of people. But I bring this up not to derail the conversation. I just want to point out there used to be an American museum, the Red Scare, the Soviets, the expansion. So everyone in America was kind of unified. You could get people to let's speak believe you, and you could draft people because many people didn't want to draft them. Nowadays, the U.S. is split. Not just in two, there's different factions all over the place. I mean, the Democrats wouldn't fight the Democrats, but they'll take what they can get in terms of politics. So the Democrats have anti-gun Democrats are not going to get along. So when it comes to going to someone and saying, what's your purpose and what's your mission?
Well, that was fairly simple.
I oppose Russia. They're going to say, the critical race theory, guide cult left is destroying the planet. That's insane. The left is going to say the fascists. They support Putin. We talked about this before. I think it might have been a point Ian brought up, but basically how we live in a system where because power changes hands so often, we can't really do anything. But historically, that wasn't the case because we know the two parties had different ideas. They were similar enough that we could work towards the common goal, but we might have different approaches around slightly different reasons for not continue
What else we got over here? Fort.
At least with respect to the lip service they pay the public and what they tell people we want to do. So, yeah, you're right. If you ask most people what the most serious threat is,
Let's go carry on with the story. I think we come back to Havana.
Well, there will be some conversation where that will say China will have to say that. But for the most part, I'd be willing to bet if you look at someone unfrontline, like a political leftist, you say, what is the existential threat this country faces today? They're going to say the rise of fascism. If you ask someone on the right, they're going to say the critical race theory for the cult. The right may also actually say China,
which is fascist. But that's where it starts to become
it's something else.
He is the most fascist country on earth, and maybe the United States, but CCP.
Okay.
All the businesses run through that government.
Oh, it has to, like, just like the internet. You have to go through the Yeah, I don't think the United States is fascist.
It's got elements of it, the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, but bro, fascism is something specific. That's why I grow tired of using these words.
It's become so.
Sorry about the swift exit. Bit of a misunderstanding.
One heaped upon another.
Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry, mate. This is my doing. I'm only trying to keep these Spanish eyes off me.
Oh, it's no bother.
So yeah,
regrettably, the soldiers confiscated my sugar and your dispatches.
Damn! And where've they gone?
Haven't the foggiest idea, I'm afraid. I suspect those chaps might, but my Spanish isn't wee mal dad, so I'd rather not ask.
Shit!
most people who are
All right, come on, let's follow them and recover
yeah,
my
there are
map.
still people on
And
the
my
world
sugar?
stage who will identify as
What,
communists.
in my drawers?
So like the CCP call themselves communists. So
We'll see what
who
happens.
Call themselves, it is socially acceptable among the left to throw up the red symbol. Yeah, that's just insane. It's mind-blowing insane. I view the red salute and the Roman salute similar.
I know about that.
I mean, truth be told, Soviets killed communists.
Not if you keep quiet.
But they're all psychotic. I mean, shades of arrogance.
Bonnet!
I believe I'm getting the hang of this.
Quiet! Hang back.
He's a racist guy. Very, very racist guy. Because we know that the left doesn't care at all.
Best idea you've had today.
That the guy's racist, like in my worst person. Yeah, I mean, just all the dual lefty coaches. That happens much too
Buenos dias, senores. You're late.
Yes, sir. See you. We are very
I know. I was just going to say that, dude. Even Fox News going, oh, how inconvenient that Che Guevara is. It's like, it's not like he's George Washington. You're going, yes, sir.
5 statues about Washington from 1962. Guevara said he killed people without regard to pure innocence. But he's beautiful, so they love that. People here are entranced by the way things look.
Have you seen the thing where recently they're standing young Stalin? Look at young Stalin. So I'm pretty sure that picture of young Stalin, I've seen this, and I'm pretty sure it's not actually him.
I'd love to. Especially if Captain Mendoza's putting this up.
Because
I'd
that's
be
the
money for the slaves or something.
That's blowing up on social media. On Twitter.
Happy to pay you.
Let's do Operation Photoshop Stalin.
Excellent.
Just make like really unattractive.
We gotta do that with Putin. You want to win the war. That's how you do it. Make him look ugly.
Stalin where he was like waving at that body of water, and they erased the guy. Yeah. Just take that picture. No. You need young Stalin to be a leader. So that it's not
young Joseph Stalin. He looks like was it Gavrilo Princip, the guy that started World War I? He looks like that.
He reminded me of.
Well, senor, the hanging will be started soon. That's not silly,
No. He's our Enver Pasha. Oh, Hassan. Yeah, the fake young Turks, not the real one. Not the murderers.
Not the real. Yeah.
I get confused. They're both called the young Turks.
Well, the ones who were inspired by those who committed genocide, not the ones who acted.
Yeah, thank you.
The ones who initially denied the genocide.
Oh, that's it.
Or the ones who have been repeatedly begged to change their name to stop using the name of the genocide.
Yeah, the Armenians.
Could you imagine if someone started a news organization called the right? And also like the head of that organization for a very long time was actively denied the Holocaust. But then later apologized. But still continued to call his organization the Hitler Youth. All right. Let's do a semi-hard segue into the story about Maxine Waters. It's sad funny. That Maxine Waters warns reporter over LA homeless story, hurt yourself. But the real bit here is that she told homeless people to go home. So let me get there. They say Maxine Waters tried to stop the publication of a news story about Los Angeles homeless crisis this week, reportedly telling an Los Angeles Times scribe, "You'll hurt yourself and the community trying to put this together." Investigative reporter Connor Sheets detailed a March 25th incident in South LA where hundreds of homeless people tried to obtain secondary housing vouchers after being misled. The would-be applicants
Damn it. I was trying to hire them.
Fathers and mothers who care, which have been meant to help the unhoused obtain emergency shelter. At one point, Waters told the crowd, "I want everybody to go home," triggering an angry response. "We don't got no home. That's why we're here," one member of the crowd yelled back. According to the LA Times,
how long will
what
this
home
hanging
we're going to go to?
Tell me to hang about all day for the captain.
Is the nightmare dystopia we read about as kids.
Hello?
Quick as anything, sir.
The politicians
I need only to bang the man, and you will deliver your payment.
Everywhere, Skid Row expanding, drugs and pieces all over the place.
I don't want the alleys. I want goods, things I can sell, tobacco, rum, sugar.
She didn't say which home they should go to. The underpass does count.
See. We have much fine sugar. Drinks we took off a fat Englishman last night.
Here's what I love. I love it when these leftists post photos from like some
Englishman.
And they'll say things like, "Those conservatives
smack up in California.
Sugar from Barbados. Very fine. We hold it in the Castillo. The man stands to life last night. He ran, left his sugar behind.
Beautiful place.
Very fine.
Sure, just like in Elysium. You have the French-speaking people in the space station. And
That's a
people
start.
looking like, what's wrong with
Shall I
this
accompany
car?
him to the Castillo?
Everything's beautiful here. Rich people. It's like being a multi-millionaire.
No, sir. Captain Mendoza will have it sent to you, I believe. You will see.
Good Lord. Is that big brute your Captain Mendoza?
No, sir. He is el tiburón. El tiburón. Governor Torres' man.
I guess it's just a nice piece of news out of Michael Schellenberger, who's running for governor. He's focused heavily on the whole.
Yeah, but you know, look, as much as I can appreciate it, if somebody want to become mayor of a garbage dump, good luck.
Yeah, because Rogan, he was on Rogan. Rogan's like, what? Just focus on LA. He's like, LA is like too far gone. He didn't. I don't know if he said too far gone, but like, we'll start small, and then if we can succeed, then we'll go to LA.
It would be. What if he went on Rogan and he was like, well, actually, my plan is to segment LA and San Francisco and push them into the Pacific, and then instantly the collective poverty and problems and everything that's wrong with corruption will drop dramatically.
Work your magic.
De acuerdo.
Well, no, it's like the people.
No irás a dejarme aquí sola. Es que...
You can actually do that. I also, it's so rich too because it's the people from California who have these really big, great ideas.
Espera un momento. Alto, alto, Rafael.
Oh, that didn't work.
And it's also funny because they're constantly complaining about the Florida. They're constantly complaining about what goes on in Florida while they're in the state. I don't know. DeSantis has not indicated any ambition to start a state in California. What if Ron DeSantis was, we're going to separate Florida from the rest of the country? You know, only by a few hundred feet that Florida is sovereign a moat. Right.
A wall, like a moat, hungry alligators, electric eels.
And you can sell it as like an alligator.
Yeah, it wasn't quite what I was hoping for, but it worked, I guess.
Please don't feed the alligators on
Don't
taxi.
do it.
Please.
Feed the alligators.
And then you gotta have a wall with a moat, with another wall, with another moat, with another wall. So if you go off the wall, you're just falling in the moat.
So this is what's funny, because actually playing Trump a moat, which he clearly didn't do.
Bye-bye, Paige.
Alright,
so let's go this way.
Well, look at this. Look at this story with Maxine Waters. A bunch of homeless people were told you could show up, and then Maxine Waters just yells at them, tells them to go home.
So she's so disconnected.
Humanity. She yelled at him. She said, "Excuse me, there's nobody in Washington who works for their people any effing harder than I do. I don't want to hear this. No, no, no." Here's the thing, Maxine. When you're surrounded by homeless people and you yell at them to go home, hey, nobody fights harder than me. It's like, she's like, do you know how hard I have it? Yeah, right. You know how my life is?
I was just seeing, did you guys see the California, it's going to start paying everyone $400 rebate for tax?
Well, it's about time.
They're thinking about it. I mean, talk about it. This is when they're throwing money at the
It's about time California spends some money.
I'm so concerned for that state. I do think it's too big, and like the Northern California is way different. It's like redwoods and I think there are redwoods in Northern California. I haven't been up that far. It's like lush. Down south, it's a desert. It's a completely different environment. It might be worth it.
No. I'm going.
Let's put all cities in bubbles, and their jurisdiction extends within their city. That'd be a lot of cities. If we, you know what's really funny, right? Yeah, we should abolish states and go county on. Yeah, so our everything should be on the corner, because then you see how quickly they have highly dense populations of people who are stacked on top of each other in concrete jungles that smell like China. And they all share, similar ideologies. And then you look at
Come on, get around the corner. Thank you.
different views in different areas. because people are more spread out.
In the city, you smell fumes, carbon monoxide and stuff. Constantly breathing it in, so no wonder they want to gas carbon tax.
Well, breathing in those boxes is a really good idea. You having right. Look, this is the problem with, in my opinion, the majority of Democrats. When I come out to the middle of nowhere and I see like a pig farmer, he's like, look, I don't care what you do in the cities, whatever. I raise pigs, my pigs stink. Don't come out here if you don't have a pig stick. And I'm like, I get it. I won't. City people do two things. They say, we live in a city. People shouldn't be allowed to make things smell like pig. So we're going to ban pig farming in Utah. And we're like, wait, we're going to respect you when you don't live there. And we're like, well, I don't want someone raising pigs near me. Like, bro, no one's raising pigs in New York. Well, we're going to ban raising pigs anyway for the whole nation. Shit that isn't done. Like, yo, Ricky John and Uncle Billy up in the mountains of West Virginia need guns. Because there's predators, there's bears, there's banditos. And you're like, I'm in New York, I have police. Handguns for everywhere. They look at these problems and think the solution is nationwide for everybody because they assume everywhere in the country must be a dense urban population. Well, then, and in the process of creating the solution, they end up inevitably causing more problems down the road. So they ban pigs, right? And then like 5 years later, they're like, why is pork and ham and bacon and everything so expensive? So then they pass the pork subsidy and start giving out checks to people to be able to buy pork. Not understanding they caused the problem.
But they gotta ship all the pigs to China first, so we can get our pork from China, so we have to smell it over here.
They're like, first of all, it is an ethical abuse to kill pigs. You will only eat pigs killed on Chinese soil. And then they send the pigs over there.
Now my soul is clean.
To make this real, this is literally the conversation that is exactly happening with the gas. Yeah, exactly. This is literally what's happening. We have been told that we can't have an American oil supply because
de mi parte al presidente.
Oil reserve, and also we're buying foreign oil from, we talk about Venezuela? Yeah. A country that hates us is a socialist dictatorship. Well, but empowering Venezuela. Really? Today? There was a really good battle on the that my fight plans to sell Alaska to Russia so we can direct the oil there.
Off you go. Thank you.
Well, this is the current state of America. But I do have confidence that freedom is winning.
Human ingenuity is amazing, dude. We only have a quota for 10,000.
Ooh, we need to go down.
But I mean, you see empires overturn and conquer, and they don't really talk about the death that comes along with that, because all those people died. It's not a popular thing to remind people of. That's the part of this that I don't know. You know, that's how Biden people going back to this.
Girl.
Well, when we read the history books, what do you want to remember? Like, that seems to be a recurring argument. You know what that? And all the time. Yeah, but it's very Hegelian. Yeah, it's going to be really funny in 50 years. There's going to be people talking about good old, like, Alexander stuff. And they're going to be like, who can tell me about the leaders of the 21st century? Me. They were vapid, self-interested egotists who are desperate to be acknowledged by us in the future. That's correct. And what do we say to them? Those people suck. Yeah, that's so true. There's such big things. Come on, people, tell me I was great. Tell me I was good. Yeah, that's really what it is. Like,
Biden like grabbed the wheel of the car because he goes, I gotta do this for my own posterity, and then all he was ruining his own posterity by being unqualified essentially to run the country at the moment. You know what it is? Look, I look at this
Oh, get up there.
A bunch of old Japanese I've lived my life, I'm going to sacrifice myself. So, and these elderly people are about to go into the rapid and try to get control. I actually fixed it. Guy that me and Lucas Johnson lived with Fukushima. He was a bit older, and he was living older. So these are the older people being like, you know, it's fine. It doesn't matter. But these are people who are like, I've lived a long life. I'm going to do what I can now because if I die,
Not what I wanted.
I look at what's going on in the United States and in Europe. Old people being like, children should be restricted and put in plastic boxes so that I'm not inconvenienced. They used to be vexed if they're over 85. Like your grandma said, there's a kingdom of heaven. Like they used to be, you believed that if you died doing something righteous, that you'd be rewarded. And they told us that because they probably wanted people to live like that because it benefits society if the old people were sacrificing to the young people. It's very natural. No, I think it was an emergent thing. I don't think there are people who believe that religion was like powerful leaders who were like, protect the people living in this heaven. They really believed it. Like, yeah, just look at the BNP rush at the end of life. The people, look, it's actually really simple. Outside of any theological argument, if you take two groups of people, one believes in being righteous and the other doesn't, which one is more likely to be wrong? That's a good point. Because in Japan, I don't know that they necessarily Christian. Did they do this? There was some sort of honor code. Yeah, there was a very honorific. Yeah. I mean, they used to commit suicide for life. I'm not going to pretend to be a friend of Japan, but
There's that guy.
And the idea was if you failed or if it was dishonorable or something, you were life. Now, I think that's kind of horrifying, but imagine what happens if you have a group of scoundrels who are out for each other and are warring with each other. You have a group of people who are like, I'm going to sacrifice that stuff for the greater good. Which one survives in the long run? You just get back to
come on over.
That's why there's such intense approach on the left to control what is and is not taught in the school. And it's because we see the kids who are raised by their parents have more of these. The idea that there is something beyond you in this present, there is a future that you're building for. You're not able to see one day. Whereas if the left would take that and get rid of that in the government schools at a young age, then they're basically undoing the work. And it's setting up to
I'll just do it this way.
without thinking of the posterity. I feel like the Democrat side, are the people who are that's why they always say you're on the wrong side of history. Like, I'm not motivated by what people think. You know, imagine being someone in China in the early 1900s. Yeah, you were on the wrong side of history opposing the murderous regime of Mao. But today, you're not on the right side of history, at least to us. I'm sure in communist China, they still don't like those who look at them like that's the thing. I don't care what you think the right side of history is. If these guy cultists end up taking over, and it gets bad to the point where horrific things are happening in countries, and I am to believe them, I'm not going to be going around being like, I guess I was on the wrong side of history.
That'll be entertaining.
That's why they said it's the opposite of supporting that. Well, I just want to say that I would California the future and everyone was I would just make fun of them. I was hoping you gotta fight for everything. Yeah, but I guess my point is there's actually an arrogance to saying I want to be on the right side of history, not just in the sense that you are presuming that you would be for doing what you're aiming to do, but also you're judging all of the past and saying, well, if we as modern people like what you did, then you were one of the good guys, so my aspiration would be to have the future to be judged as well. So who says moral erosion is going to turn someone? There are things we look back on as being horrible that were actually better, and there are things that we look on today as being wonderful that are actually horrible. Imagine siding with the politics because you didn't correct. Yeah, like I'd rather be correct. But could you imagine being somebody who made very popular YouTube videos and some authorities, and then end up taking them down because you were scared that you get banned, or they snap you, and you genuinely just thought it's not worth fighting for these things I think are true because I'll lose. Imagine being like that. People are scared too. I mean, I went out, so as you mentioned earlier, my day job is sales. I do a lot of talking about business technology, community, and I went to Wisconsin. I was talking to small business owners, and
we were just talking about cybersecurity stuff. And at the very end, the guy comes up, he's standing there, and he goes, Brian, you're very charitable, and yet you also do a lot in private sector. How do you bridge the two worlds? And it kind of caught me off guard there for a conversation about cybersecurity. And I was like, honestly, like, if you really think, you just gotta be your authentic self and like say this is who I am, and who I believe. And I firmly believe that good people will find good people, and that good people will survive. So instead of hiding with them and keeping that back, I think we should lead with our values, lead with our ideas, and focus on building things that are outside of traditional ways and getting away from the and if you wanted to create a better future, the opportunity is there right now.
Not jump.
And they have not only created a system to get
that worked out
but
great.
now they're using blockchain technology to help increase the research efficiencies of, you name the focus. And you're talking about how the Chicago schools that they do research and how they're getting siloed into, I'm focusing on this project, I'm focusing on this project, and they're a mile apart from each other. They're doing the same project. They have no idea at the time. They're taking it out of the silos, putting it on the blockchain, and now creating an open environment where you can get things advanced faster, research done more quick, and we're seeing more people's lives being saved as a result of that. And that's all because somebody decided, I'm going to go by my values. I think that blockchain and NFTs have an amazing opportunity to just change the game. And they jumped on it, and now they're actually making things better. They're saving little kids' lives. That's a big deal.
The right, the libertarians, whatever, need to make the metaverse.
Yes, that's what we're working on. I just saw a little prototype on Wednesday.
That's their plan. They want to
Homeboy.
It's just the same what Elon's doing with neural net.
When they control all space. I'm kidding, but my point is, the right, the libertarians, have ceded control of our current economic system, internet and social media, to
Shit.
So whether it's metaverse or whatever, my point is, the right needs to start getting active, paying attention to what's going on, and building things now.
I'm glad that Elon's doing the neural net. We talk about it, and they're like, I don't know if I'm gonna, but it's good that it's him, because that means open source is Tesla now. If you can see, it's all your patents are belong to us. You look it up on So someone like that, build the metaverse, free the software code. That's what I'm looking for. That's why we're working on the metaverse with current project with charity that we're starting.
Come on, move.
But we need to do that. Before I was just like, let's just let it happen. Let's beg the authorities to make them open source. But that's not. I'm not a we got to do it ourselves.
Who wants to go in there? But if you build it first, you can prevent these weapons from being
or basically can you? Because they could make the host. They could, but you can now set the standard of what is acceptable and what people. I mean, think about it. We look and judge, for the most part, streaming platforms based on what Netflix wants, right? And that's what the subscription model turned into.
But the interface, not the app.
Correct, 100% correct. So like we can do that though in terms of setting the groundwork, again, setting that narrative, and then either somebody else on the left is going to do better, is going to attract more people, or they have to react and change things. So I think we can almost do both. That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You think that we can build comparable technology and then change the behavior of what they can? Because once you control the tech, you can decide how the user interface looks and slightly guide people's behavior. The question is it ethical or not, but yeah.
It's going into the thing.
Mark Zuckerberg goes
Really, let's put this guy.
And that's the thing, right? With these social media platforms, people are already living online. It's very disturbing thing.
You know what? Just for shits and giggles.
Disabled for our only interface is this screen and our fingers.
Goodbye.
And people do end up integrating with the metaverse. They're going to look back at us and go, how sad and insane. Ian, your analogy was it'll be like Morse code with them, which is where we don't understand how we could have such a lovely interface. But I still think it's sad. I think we should try to spend as much time in the real world as possible.
I agree, but if metaverse, in any fashion, be it Neuralink or just VR headsets, becomes the dominant, we can put on remote
And the right to say, no, people should spend money. That's not how people are. So what you can do is you can grant this technological strike. Then, when people do typically adopt the tech because they're not working, you own the means. You can actually say only 2 hours a day. So then the conversation isn't whether or not Elon Musk is going to build something else or buy Twitter. He'll be there.
Basically, mine's software code is available to take and build on it.
What's easier, to storm the walls of Rome or to go there before one is built, plant the flag, and say,
Sorry about the sugar. I've only one pair of hands.
It's no great loss.
Rather spending time in reality.
I've got plenty of cargo here to make a profit on my trip.
Will you stay here long?
For a few weeks, yes. Then back to Barbados to the tedium of domesticity.
Don't settle for tedium. Sail for NASA. Live life as you see fit.
Haven't I heard that Nassau is crawling with pirates? Seems a very tawdry place.
Not tawdry, liberate.
Oh, God. That would be an adventure. But no, I'm a husband and a father. I have responsibilities. Life can't be all pleasure and distraction, Duncan.
Playing out before you in a simulated manner.
Hey, Bonnie.
You need to watch these videos from TikTok.
The name's Edward, in truth. Duncan's only a handle.
We mentioned earlier in the show. Where they, like, if you watch a Pixar movie...
Secret name for your secret meeting with the governor.
They bounce when they talk. So, Ian, you have
governor,
to
right.
understand. And that's what they do.
I think I've kept
them
waiting
weird,
long enough.
like, and they do side talking on their mouths, and they, like, tie twitch. Metaverse will amplify that 1,000-fold. Because these people...
Yep, I didn't do that last part.
They're probably going to go and actually do that.
That's it.
They'll be raised from 5 years old around people doing that. And they'll come out and here's what you need to understand. When we watch these things TikTok videos, we understand.
¿Alguna vez has tenido dos zorras en
Smart, sane people say,
What?
But what we don't understand is when the metaverse rides this 1,000-fold.
Come on.
No, it's not going to be people bouncing around. There's a connection between base reality and movie characters bouncing, and then humans bouncing. But what happens when there's a rapid expansion of this bizarre behavior? You'll have people sort of like twitching and shaking, and people on how about this one? Young girls on Instagram are getting fake threats. There was a viral story.
Yes, that's huge.
Because they were seeing it, and what's been happening? I was studying psychology is explaining it. Imagine right now we know what collection is. Let's say in the metaverse, a world develops one block at a time.
Wait a minute.
That results in people who have.
I thought that was the dock he was on.
They just start like screaming, screeching. So what I mean, the easiest way to explain that, I suppose, is the Tai Chi hypno video I bring up all the time, where these companies are trying to make algorithmically manipulated videos that you could promote them to babies. You end up with the Incredible Hulk and Adolf Hitler doing Tai Chi while facing nursery rhymes. To a regular human, you're like, what is this? This is psychotic. But the algorithm puts these pieces together to manipulate the code. Now, if you live in the metaverse, and you're exposed to that 1,000-fold, you're eventually going to walk out going, hey, Mom. And you're going to be like, what's this guy doing? And you're going to be like, it's just a thing they do in these shows in the metaverse. Regular people in the real world are going to be like,
you have me wrong, man! Why do you
already we watch these TikToks that bounce around like they're in Disney or like something wrong with people.
Hello there, good sir.
And they just like,
Oi, oi. How are we doing, Ned?
Yeah, when you look at Roblox, what's happening is the kids that are in Roblox in the metaverse with that system are also building it as they're in it.
Hey, what the hell?
Rapid expansion, compounding expansion, change in the system. So if the people with fake threats are actually the ones that are also building reality as they're
feedback. Yeah. People will rapidly start speaking very differently. If the metaverse becomes something more common, people will build pocket communities, very much like a Discord or whatever. But if you can experience it by a neuralism, then people are going to stay in those communities. They're going to isolate, and it's going to be like after the fall of Rome. The Latin language splits up and becomes the Romance language. There's a bunch of different ways now you can communicate between. just like
And that's where I have to go. In that big old area right
because
there.
they couldn't control it. It's just basically like the metaverse and base reality. We split like that, and you have the Eastern Roman Empire and the Western Roman Empire. The world and the universe and the metaverse.
Look at that, already, because of the internet. When we say racism, we're talking about prejudice based on race. The left is talking about systems of oppression, or prejudice, or whatever, the dominant, that means something totally different about it. Amplify that.
Buenos dias. Mr. Duncan Walpole of England to see the governor. I believe he is expecting me.
Sí, señor Walpole. Entre, por favor.
It's how you end up with, again, drones, and then in falls you have the romance languages. They're all very similar, but very different.
¿Ese es el hombre?
And to sort of tie it into the interesting philosophical question we had earlier, which is why and how do we differentiate between reality and narrative and what goes on in the metaverse. It's important to remember that the strongest teacher for humans, generally speaking, is experience. And so if someone experiences something or believes they've experienced something, it's going to influence the habits they end up developing. And we see this even with film and television. When you're sitting in front of a TV set, it's obvious that you're not in it. You're looking at a screen in front of your face. You're watching the main character. It's
Good morning, sir. Would I be correct in thinking you are...
I am indeed.
I thought as much.
What's Rogers?
Pleasure.
The same.
I must say, my wife has a terrible eye for description.
I'm sorry.
My wife. You met her some years ago. Percy's Masquerade Ball.
Ah, quite.
She called you devilishly handsome.
We get the metaverse up and running.
Obviously a lie to stoke my jealousy.
Julianne, guest of honor has arrived. Mr. Duncan Walpole.
Yeah, exactly.
Julianne Duquette.
Well, and to be fair, it certainly didn't originate with millennials. Solipsism
I
is
have no
basically
love
just
for
a philosophical way of saying you have main
But even
character
less.
syndrome. But even that's a little different, though, because
I
main
have
character
not come to
syndrome
disappoint.
also touches on the way the narratives are structured and how you
The old man isn't ready just
that
yet.
category, that you're on the hero's journey. Could you guys imagine that? And I am, thank you. It's all in freedom to
You've got my two best pairs of matched pistols, Duncan, so handle them with care.
If I had 8, I'd treat each as my own son.
Pull off a few shots if you like, get a feel for it.
I once fought beside a man who carried 9 on his purse. They were a boom in battle, but hindered his ability to swim, sadly.
Quite. A kick, yes?
I long for the day where one firearm carries 4 bullets, and not the opposite.
I have a friend in England you may like to meet. James Puckle. He's working on something extraordinary.
Magnifique. Duncan, where are your wrist blades? I've never seen an assassin so ill-equipped.
Ah, damaged sadly beyond all repair.
Uh-huh. Have your choice.
Where did you find all these?
I did not find them. I took them. These are souvenirs.
Amen. That's true. And also, another really insidious thing that's happened is people expect their problems to be solved much more quickly than it's reasonable. Instant gratification. Well, I mean, it's instant gratification. It's also the fact that when you watch these television shows, if it's a
We must.
22-minute-long program,
We put together a training course in anticipation of your arrival. We'd be ashamed to leave here without seeing you in action.
Yes, of course. Well, I mean, if there is time, I would gladly show you what I know.
Here. As a kid, it just seemed to me that everything was reversible, everything could be undone. I had to learn the lesson as I got older.
Have a go. A blade in a crowd is always the simplest. Nothing grandiose, just quick and clean.
I suspect not. I think it's the narratives that were fed that program is that way. Didn't they denature them? renature an egg?
A protein had a chemical change. An egg was cooked, I think, and the protein fold or something like that. I don't want to misrepresent it.
They turned it into a hard boiled egg. And they were like, the general idea is, you know, you can't reverse this process.
A chemical reaction, yeah.
And then they figured out a way to reverse the process.
So that's like you could undo burns, maybe, theoretically, with this kind of technology.
The advantage of surprise cannot be overstated, isn't that so?
But there's still a lot that you can't undo. But let's say you're in the metaverse and you have a save point or a reset button,
Control X,
or a few time stone or something. But this has happened to me, right? Like I spend almost all of the time that I'm doing anything artistic doing it on the computer with my drawing tablet. Dude, I have been drawing with a pencil and paper and have literally thought I have to hit the undo button and then realize, oh my gosh, I'm not using a computer.
You know,
I just admit it. How amazing would it be if you're like a business meeting and you accidentally said you're like, look, when we approach this organism,
Magnifique.
Oh, jeez. All right, I'm just going to load my save state real quick.
Is it also possible
when you were approaching this
killing blow at high speed?
People would do crazy stuff. If you ever see someone play Skyrim and then reload their game after they go into the city and just take
Wait.
Imagine
this. In the metaverse, there's a bunch of other people who are there, and some guy
Right?
walks into the office, and then you
Deserved
pull
it.
up and you go,
Every
"Quick
second of
save,"
it.
and you're like, uh-oh, yeah.